Avery County Schools Spotlight on Education is brought to you by John and Hank Phillips of Avery County Tire and Service in Newland, your tire and car service specialists.
Michelin makes some of the most fuel-efficient tires on the road, so you can take the pump down. Find out how much you can save at MichelinMan.com. Michelin, a better way forward.
Avery Tire and Service has served Newland, Avery County, and the entire High Country for the last 50 years. Family owned and operated, John and Hank Phillips have put together an outstanding team of skilled personnel who can supply and fill all of your automotive and truck needs. Located in the center of Newland, Avery Tire and Service is your local supplier for Michelin tires, as well as the supplier for all the top brands for every part of your vehicle. From tires to brakes, from oil changes to any kind of car or truck service, Avery Tire and Service can do it all, and always at the very highest level of friendliness and quality. If a business has been around for 50 years, then they obviously must be the best at what they do. Avery Tire and Service in Newland, still proudly serving you and all of the High Country.
Welcome to another edition of Spotlight on Education for Avery County Schools. I'm Keith Eades, Superintendent, and a pleasure to have with me today Laurie Ryan and Justin Carver. Glad to have you here today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
And, I want to talk a little bit about a program that's unique to Avery County Schools, and that's Extraordinary Players. And you two have been involved with this for a while. I think Laurie a little bit longer than Justin. But tell us a little bit about what Extraordinary Players is and maybe how it came to be.
Well, it's my passion. I'm a speech therapist, and ever since I started doing speech therapy in the schools, I realized that a way for the kids to communicate better was through drama. So back when we had self-contained classes for the handicapped children, as they were known then, I started doing small plays, and we would do them in the gym, or we would do them just for the parents, and all the parents started saying, wow, what a difference it had made for the students, that their communication has grown. It was showing abilities that nobody knew that they had. So about 9 years ago, we coined it Extraordinary Players. And at that point, we got to be on a real stage. We got out of the gyms and onto the big stage of Eades McRae. And from that point on, we've just grown and grown and grown. I have always written the scripts for the students because I know what their communication abilities are. So I can kind of fine-tune it to what they're capable of doing and how far I can push them. And Extraordinary Players is a group of special needs, typically developing and academically and intellectually enhanced students. So we all work together to produce a product, and the product is drama, and drama on stage. Showcases talents that we are unaware of until we get into it.
What age group are you talking about with the Extraordinary Players?
Well, this year we've gone down to pre-K through 5th grade. In the past, we've stuck with 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. When Justin came on board last year, he was a 2nd grade teacher. He is all about drama and was pulling all of those talents out for me to see. And he said, hey, I think this person should be in Extraordinary Players. So we started including 2nd grade also. This year, how I saw that the 2nd graders blossomed, I decided, well, I'm going to take some of my pre-Ks. And some of them I work with on speech and language. Some of them I just saw that would benefit from being in it. So we've included pre-K through 5th grade.
Right. I think one of the first things that I was able to participate in last year, learning more about the system, I came and made a visit in May and was able to go over to Eades McRae and see your production last year. What was the name of your production last year?
It was Read from the Hood, and it was my first year of teaching and also my first year working with Extraordinary Players. I'd been to some performances before, in the county, and I just loved the whole concept of the production. So I came to the school and I said, Laurie, I want on board, and so there I was. And it's amazing to see the kids blossom. It's amazing to see the kids just shine once they get on stage, and just the confidence that they build with the productions and the teamwork that they form. So,
what kind of preparation do you have for getting a program together, and maybe the sequence of from the beginning of starting to write it to starting to work with students to the actual production?
Ooh, it's a big, long process.
I figured it would
And
be.
it's a lot of procrastination. And the reason that I am so happy that Justin has jumped on board is because he offers that youthful energy that was lacking for many years. We've been doing it for 9 years. And last year was the year that it came alive. And I'm sure you noticed with all those current music
Right, that's what I was thinking. The
choices that he
contemporary
had,
songs, yeah.
contemporary songs and the dance. It was like, oh, a breath of fresh air. So I usually decide over the summer what show I want to do. Sometimes my own kids give me suggestions, and I came up this year with a takeoff on the Wizard of Oz. So then Justin and I sit down and we say, well, how can we twist it? And I knew I did, in order to have some of the students in there, I knew I did not want to have witches in there, so how could we change that? Sure. And one day we were together and Justin said, bullies, let's have it as a bully. And then he said, Laurie, do you remember the book, Mean Jean, the Recess Queen? And I said, no, I'm not familiar with that.
Right.
Guy gave it to me and I said, you are right on, Justin, this is where we want to go. So we've got Mean Jean, the Recess Queen is our bully with all her groupies. And so we go from the writing, I get it all written eventually. And then I say, okay, Justin, now we've got to add music.
So I go through usually my iPod and just, try to find songs and songs that I can teach a dance to pre-K kids through 5th grade, and just songs that fit the mood, fit the scene, and current things that are going to bring the kids in the audience together, and also things, songs from different eras that are going to bring the parents that are going to be there too. So I just choose songs that are going to fit that scene appropriately and that the kids are going to really like and take on to.
And then he adds the dance. He's a
right.
singer and a dancer, so
Yeah.
we've got it all. I've got it all.
Right. Yeah, I know this is a really an important offering, I guess, for our students, because a lot of times, like I said earlier, they don't get an opportunity to shine. A lot of students don't get an opportunity to shine, and this kind of focuses on the talents that students have as it steps out of the academic world into a world where they can really use some of their skills and their abilities to perform.
Absolutely. This year we've got 4 students on the autism spectrum. They're dynamite. They're all in my lead roles. They're absolutely wonderful. About 40 to 50% are either 504 students that need extra help or students with special needs. And those are the students that are our best singers, our dancers, our techies. They just offer so much. And I was lucky to see Greece this past weekend, which was dynamite, and 6 of those students were prior extraordinary players. It was just wonderful to see that they've carried on. And the ones that carried on were some in the AG program, but some were just in the typically developing, and they're on to Hollywood.
Right.
So I'd like to see them go.
Right. It's really nice to see students at an early age find a niche,
Yes.
a connection to something, again, that's not academic.
Yes.
Justin, how many students in your classroom are participating in this production?
I have 17 students in my classroom, and of those 17, 11 are in the play. And I am biased because they're my kids, but I see a kid in the classroom that's struggling academically, socially, and I say, Laurie, let's pull them in there, let's go. And it's amazing to see those kids that are struggling in the classroom get on stage and get at practice and just form friendships and bonds, and they run with it, and they have so much confidence, and they're so excited about play practice every Monday. Now Mondays,
Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesdays, whenever we have it. But it's amazing to see the kids that struggle at home, classroom, outside of school, that just really take to extraordinary players, and it's their life, it's their passion, the same as it
Well, I know in your classroom you provide a lot of opportunities throughout the year for students to generate their own work, to be able to have opportunities to speak before groups of people, and that really helps students be able to feel comfortable on stage, I would think.
It's public speaking is a big part of life. Job interviews, college interviews, things like that. That's going to prepare them, and they need to know how to get up in front of an audience and be themselves and not be shy. There's kids that are shy in my classroom usually break out of that shell pretty fast.
Pretty fast, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. You mentioned just a few minutes ago before we came on the air about a website that.
Yeah. We now, thanks to a great parent, he provide us with the website. It's www.extraordinaryplayers.com, all one word. And there you can see the new production that we're getting to perform, pictures from practices, a gallery of pictures, and eventually is going to be a clip on there of scene 1 that we performed for the Board of Education, I guess a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So it's a good website to keep up with us and to see what we're about and what we're doing.
Okay, well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to come and be on the show today, and we'll have you back next week to talk a little bit more about this year's production.
Great. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for another edition of Spotlight on Education for Avery County Schools. We'll see you next week.